Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on January 14th, 2025 at approximately 9:02 p.m. PST. Now, I've made it my life's journey to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the same philosophies I guide virtually every movement I make by. Now, I know these tools will work for you because they continue to work for me and have literally worked for thousands of other people over the years with varying degrees of success, depending on their own personal efforts. Today, we're going to be looking at spiritual responsibility. But before we get into that, we've got Storm in the background handling all of the tech issues, except my own heart. That's LA's responsibility. And making certain problem children are removed before they become a problem. Okay. For those of you that come in and go, well, your moderator's being a bully. Understand, I asked him to do it. Okay, he offered to step in. I gave him a few parameters. You want to call somebody a bully? That'd be me. That'll go over well. I believe the way that used to get stated was, go ahead, let's do that. That'll be fun. Now, then we have LA. As I said, she keeps an eye on my health. And yes, I've had lots of rest and lots of food today, so I'm fine. Working on like 3 hours of sleep tonight, but what the heck? Got red meat back into my diet, and all of a sudden my energy's gone through the freaking roof. Now, we have Renee Andrews in with the gold. How you doing, Renee? Glad you could join us. Now, the neat little part about this is when we look at spiritual responsibility, this means whether you're talking about somebody standing at the front of a church, at a temple, in a coven, or doing something like I am, where I just go, this is a path that may be functional for you. If they're not actually following their own word, you might want to reconsider who you're listening to. If they're telling you this is what we're doing, the obvious issue from my standpoint, and no, we are not going to pick out any individual religion or belief structure. Because I'll tell you, on this planet, what I've seen is most of them, now there are individual parishes that do well, but the basic belief structure, most of them basically do the same thing. Eternity Eternal, how you doing? You are in with the silver. Glad you could join us. There are so many of these spiritual people that go, oh, we're here to help the sick, and we're here to help the homeless, and we're here to help the hungry, and yet they're still all living on the street. Ian Madden, you are in with bronze. How you doing, Ian? Glad you could join us. This is the thing. Now, I've talked about the idea of what I would like to be doing. I frankly don't have the funds at this point. Okay. And yes, this is why I am working so diligently to get the stuff in writing. Rachel Andrews, how are you? You are in with honorable mention. I am very happy to see you two. I tell you, the people in this chat room are absolutely phenomenal. I actually, and this is going to sound really bad, I got over it. I actually get more support from you guys than I do from my own family. Not my kids. My kids are quite supportive. But when we look at spiritual guidance, 3 laws to follow, and I follow these ones myself. Okay, be true to yourself first. Okay, now what this means is regardless of what your belief structure, in somebody else's house, in this case, we're in YouTube's house. So they've got guidelines. they have to, they've got rules that you've got to follow. When I come into their house, I watch what I'm saying because, well, frankly, their house. Operation, how you doing? Glad you could join us. So that's law number one. Now these are listed right at the top of the chat room. Number two is do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. If you desire people to be honest with you, be absolutely honest with them. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be well-spoken, that you have to be diplomatic. LA is just reminding us, a prophet is honored in all but his own country. It would seem, much like an artist usually ends up gaining fame after he dies. Which to me is absolutely bizarre. Because the guy can't paint a thing or write anything once he's dead. But that's law number two. And this is why I will not tell somebody your belief is wrong. I will tell you I'm not brooking that in this chat room. Because this is designed as a safe place for people to be treated equally. To me, it doesn't matter what you do outside of here as far as whether I'm going to look at the way you're treating people in here. Everybody has their off days. Everybody's got their challenges. I am frankly no better than the next person. That's the funny part. LA goes, it makes the work valuable because it has become limited. The funny part is some of the greatest minds would be so much more useful if people started working with them before they drop dead. I get a kick out of it. You take Einstein. He gave the scientists a brilliant mathematical equation. I will tell you, it is not, much as that's what you've been told, from what I understand from him, it is not the theory of relativity. Okay, E equals mc squared. It's a fabulous formula, works like a charm, but it has nothing to do with relativity. Now, when I talk about, when I say find a church, find a temple, find a coven, find a support group that will help you accept you and will take you on as is, providing you're following the three karmic laws. Okay, understand if the laws inside a group, whether we are talking a country, a family, a spiritual path, if the laws are not followed by everybody equally, the system will falter. Now, this is why I say I will treat anybody the same way. Okay, and it's not, oh, you're being mean to me, I'm going to retaliate. Robert, how you doing? Robert White goes, if you work with them after they're dead, you don't have to pay royalties. The funny part about it is the way the laws are written, that's not entirely true anymore. But hey, what the heck? I look at it this way. We have a choice. As a society, we have a choice. And that choice is simple. Either let the people that, in case you hadn't noticed, are doing a wonderful job of distracting everybody and lead you right into a quagmire. Okay. Or you can start thinking for yourself. Okay. Now, this is why I tell you. Oh. Robert goes, excuse my typos. My eyes are dilated. Not a problem. I stumble over my own words all the time. Matt Geek, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Here we are the 14th of January, and I'm really happy about it. But in just over 2 weeks, my fiance comes up here to spend a couple of weeks with me. But from a spiritual standpoint, if you're going to claim to be in a certain fashion, if you're going to claim that you strive to help people, I mean, here's a couple of people that keep telling me, I've talked to them multiple times, and we do it because we like what the message is. We cannot thank Storm and Ellie enough for the effort they put into making sure everything runs smoothly, or for the extra care in trying to make sure I don't drop dead while I'm on air. Although I will tell you, that would be an interesting show. Oh, yeah, it's the 15th on your part of the world. Unless something is really screwy, but my computer tells me I'm still on the 14th. So I'm hoping that's what it is. I've been known to be wrong before that, on that one anyway. The nice little part about it is, as a spiritual guide people towards the positive side. I mean, yes, you can go, let's do the spiritual thing. Let's go and pray for the world to fall apart and for everybody to suffer. You could do that. I mean, technically it's spiritual. Hate to tell you this, LA. LA goes, yeah, but dropping dead is a one-trick pony. In my case, I've done it 9 times, possibly 10. I never learned to count. And, the nice little part about it is I'm not about to try and prove it. Okay. But I got a kick out of it. My mom, before she passed away, she asked me, she goes, do you know what I believe what you're telling me about all this, all the spiritual stuff, all the alien stuff? And I'm thinking, Mom, you've been telling me I've been nuts my whole life. So I just went, no, I really don't, Mom. And she goes, well, she says, I've heard all these stories before. And she says, even when your dad and I tried to coerce you into changing your stories, you refused to change word 1. That's why I know they're real. I look at it going, okay, I see all this stuff going on. I'm absolutely certain half the time I'm completely off my nut. Until somebody comes in here and goes, I've seen that, or that explains this event so much better than everything else. So I just look at it going, okay, you desire your world to go a little better. I'm just going to go that route because people keep coming back in here, and that's where we've been focusing. Because the way the world is running right now, if we leave it alone, if we leave the world alone, what we end up with is the whole civilization globally coming apart at the seams. Okay, now it's up to you guys. It is not up to the so-called religious leaders. The Pope is not the be-all and end-all. Okay, let's face it. If the churches were doing what they claim and taking care of the poor, nobody, and I mean nobody, would be living on the street. I love the way it was put. That was put in one article, one little blurb I caught. If cigarette companies want people to actually be cured of cancer, instead of telling them to stop smoking, quit putting the cancer-causing agents into the tobacco and into the food you're eating. Now, here's a neat little kicker to you. I'm not sure how much weight that holds. They found about 10 years ago, if I remember the timing correctly, they found cancer cells in dinosaur bones, I believe from the Devonian era. Now, I'm pretty certain that we didn't have industry back in the Devonian era. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the comments here. And Robert White goes, stop dropping on alive. It doesn't stick. LA turns around, it doesn't. They keep throwing him back. Well, it's like I tell people, God doesn't want me and Satan's afraid I'll take over. But all kidding aside, you desire your world to change for the better. Here's what you do. Okay, number one, treat people the way you desire to be treated. If you desire people to be honest with you, be honest with them. This does not mean be diplomatic. Although I recommend, and I'm the lousy one to ask for guidance on this one, I do recommend you do your best not to belittle them while you're trying to help them. Okay, I don't try to belittle people, but I'm really not good at the tact thing. Okay, if we continue relying on the politicians, well, I don't know about you. I hear all these, LA goes, Storm's got a restraining order against him. Devil's scared. The reality is, if politicians were doing what they're supposed to be, and bear in mind, every single one of you is a politician, a teacher, a first responder, okay, you're all the same thing. But you do not have to, it is not wise to wait for the people that have been put in positions of power, either by their own work or by election. Okay, and what I mean by that is lots of companies and lots of businesses that have gone global. I intend on being another one, given that I live long enough. But here's the kicker. I worked out a superstructure where I will be putting, in all likelihood, about 80% of my net profit once I'm making $2,500 a month back into the community. Because I don't know about you, but I just don't require $1 billion a day to live on. I really don't. Okay, but the first thing we do is take a look in the mirror. Number one, are you treating yourself in what you consider a decent fashion? Are you getting up in the morning and going, I can do this? Okay, I started streamlining a book on linguistics. Okay, right now it's only got 9 words that you have to worry about. Of course, that's the word, not the definition. Okay, I am pushing that one because one of the biggest things we got to look at is the way you think may be causing a massive problem. Okay, there are words that just thinking them creates a complication. And this is why you'll find I catch myself right in the middle of a state. I do hate hiccups. I got a valve in my chest that tries going 2 directions at once. It's only designed to go one direction. So just like everything else in my body, it's a little confused. But the reality of it is, when you are looking at the way you're treating you, like I was looking at me going, I should upgrade my wardrobe. And then I got thinking, why? I don't leave my house much. I wear clothing that isn't full of holes, right? So why do I have to buy an Armani suit? Some guy designed it. Great, no problem. Hats off to him. I'm all for people looking good. But make sure you look good to you. Okay. Do your best not to worry about what other people think. I do strongly recommend, in Western society especially, when you're going out of the house, wear clothes. Okay. You'll notice I didn't tell you what type. I did tell my fiance, you desire me to wear something a little different than what I am? No problem. Pick and choose. I don't wear pink, and I don't wear dresses. I don't even wear skirts. And yeah, I'm Scottish. I won't wear a kilt. Okay, but you've got to be happy with you first. Now, for me, as you can see, a lot of the stuff around me has been cleared out. Okay, if you look back at my old videos, it's very much a question of they've been cleared out of the way. Now, I'm doing something here I probably shouldn't, but what the heck? I've been known to do that before. See, I've got all these books I've been writing, but I've got to make sure I get inventory done. Again, one of the biggest problems that we have in anybody's home is literally an overabundance of clutter. Clutter is kind of a neat little problem. Okay, picture, if you understand, energy runs the same way that water does. Clutter works like rocks in a stream. You put too much debris in a stream, the water will not flow properly. You have too much clutter in your house, your energy level will collapse. This is just the way it is. You don't have to believe me. If your house is not completely organized, organize it and see what the difference is. Okay, this is why I say these are tools I personally use. Now, yes, I am very definitely an author. Okay, we can tell that because everything I'm pulling out here, I just got to do inventory later tonight. But the reality of it is this. In case you hadn't figured it out, I don't sit still well. One of the things we got to remember, whatever you're telling people you feel is better, if you're saying, do this, make certain you're not going against that. You've got to get away from the idea of do what I say instead of do what I do. I'll tell you, the tools that I offer are the ones I'm personally using. Okay, I will also tell you, if you're looking for a diplomatic response to something, I'm probably one of the last people you want to talk to. Okay, but when they see, I grew up with a simple understanding: everything in moderation, which means if you're having a complication with weight, okay, it's a simple mathematical problem. Put less calories in than what you burn. Put less calories into your body than you burn. You desire finances to grow. Okay, spend less money than what you're earning. You desire your spiritual outlook on life to grow, to become lighter. Spend more time watching positive things than you do listening to negative rhetoric. Okay, question everything. I do mean everything. The way I look at it is this. I've debated whether I'm completely off my nut for the longest time. Okay, and what are we looking at? Way to go. Let's refresh that just so I can see where we're standing. One of the neat things I have found is so many people say, oh, my belief structure is better than yours. My belief structure works well for me. It does not necessarily. Well, do not need that. I keep forgetting my refresh time kicks it back in. I've questioned my own sanity for years. But here's the thing. Every time I question it, I start looking at it going, okay, does it hold whatever I'm looking at? Like, I spent years with my house looking like an absolute nightmare. Philip, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I used to live in what amounts to a warehouse. Now, what you're seeing here with the books being put together over here, okay, my entire house was this way. And all I'm doing at this point is pulling the information out so I can get an accurate inventory so I know what I'm working with. But here's the neat thing. I've mentioned, Okay, I've mentioned quite consistently that when you desire your life to change, you can do all the praying, all the positive affirmations you can come up with. Absolutely all of them. Let me ask you this. Who puts your shoes on in the morning? Right there. You can pray for somebody to put them on. Odds are you're the one doing it. Now, there are extenuating circumstances. Absolutely, there are. And there's a lot of really good people out there. I am just so tired of the number of people that are broadcasting, they're absolutely broadcasting negative information for what appears to be no other purpose than to distract you. Okay, it's time to start thinking again. It's time to start acting in your own best interest without breaking karmic law. Now, I strongly recommend, I was told years ago, I should have started my own church. Okay, right now, the way the laws are laid out, nobody's starting a new religion. I'm not looking to start a new religion. I am at this point actively, in case you haven't noticed, actively working towards turning the lights on and pointing a different direction for you to possibly find your way out of this quagmire, out of this incredible forest of complications. I'm not perfect. If I was perfect, I'd be a multimillionaire right now. And the reason I call that perfect is not because I figure money makes people better. Honestly, I've seen money and positions like promotions cripple people, absolutely destroy them. But that's by choice. Okay. Now, I've already started putting a stack of stuff together this coming Christmas. I'm already stockpiling to distribute gifts to strangers all over the place. Okay. Yes, 90% of them will be secondhand. I'm not going out and buying electronics for everybody. Don't even think about my handing money out to people. I'd love to have the money to do that. But when I talk about helping the people around you within your own available options, okay, do not overextend yourself. Philip, the answer to your question is yes, I have. Years ago I did, but there's a problem. They want this funny thing called rent. I don't have the money for it. So this has become a very decentralized area. Okay. The reality of it is I am setting things in motion where literally if you take a look at nonprofit organizations, okay, or churches where they get a whole pile of money in and they go and turn around and they say, oh, we're going to help these people. But there is a major problem here. The best one, I looked into all these donations and what have you, these nonprofit organizations decades ago. And no, I'm not picking one or the other because they're all essentially the same. The massive amount of money you donate goes to the administration. To the administration of it. The best nonprofit support group that I ran into, never did recall the name, but only 30 cents on the dollar went to the charity. Only 30 cents on the dollar. What I'm setting in motion, and all you've got to go on, is my word. That's all you've got. I won't be issuing tax receipts. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, Philip goes, pay the rent in grace and goodwill to all, which I love the idea. Unfortunately, the government doesn't. All you've got to go on, because even as I get it up and running, I will not be handing out tax receipts. I won't be going after tax breaks because, I donated this money. That's not the way I operate. Okay. The reason I don't is because if I'm telling you I'm going to take X number of dollars and I'm going to spend it on one of three venues, okay, either buying people as I see fit. I do not have a panel of people going, oh, let's look and see who needs it more. I'm not going there. Okay, I'm just not. What'll end up happening is I'll buy groceries for people that it looks like they require them. If somebody's out for a meal, I'll pick up the tab when I've got the money. Okay, the two charities I will absolutely pick up, I will buy food and take to them, is the food bank and the animal shelters. But I won't give them money either. Okay, and this is something you can watch for as things progress here. We are going to make Inner Voice Enterprises, my company, we are going to make it a going concern. Okay, and as Joe Stewart, as he pointed out, we're already global. Okay, I'm not asking you to change your outlook on the world. Well, technically I am. Okay, because the reality is if we keep focusing on all the negative things going on, we're pretty much hooked. No, I'm not going to get into the political arena or the religious one today. Because here's the thing. Every religion out there has good qualities. But here's the kicker. Okay, and I was asked this one day. I got talking to somebody, and they turned around and they said, well, Keith, if you were Christ, wouldn't you have come down to earth and looked at all the religions and gone, and wouldn't you have gone, this is my church, and spread that? I looked at the guy, I never even thought about it. I said, that ain't the way it went down. I said, the best way for that to happen is for a spiritual guide to come down and give all of the mainstream religions and the minor ones a part of the truth. Okay? And then tell them, if you want the whole picture, get along. Myself, I'm looking at it going, this is my truth. This is the way I see it. I'm just telling everybody, it doesn't matter to me what your belief structure is. And rest assured, if I can make the same connection with people in a coven as I can with people in a church or people living on the street, okay, in my eyes, I'm doing something functionally right. Now, that said, I do know one of the reasons I write as much as I do is because if I don't get it written down when I do die, and I will die, all of that information that's sitting here goes with me. So I'm putting it out there for you guys to literally spread the word. Let people know we can change this world. We don't have to wait for the go-ahead of a church, of a coven, of a temple, of a politician, or a business. We don't have to wait for it. As a matter of fact, you've been waiting for it for centuries. How's that working for you? I'm going to have to talk to her. She's already drank 2 pots of coffee on me. I'm thinking there's a problem here. What do you think? You think that this young lass happens to be maybe a little caffeine addicted? I know I'm not, because I can drink 3 pots of coffee, roll over, and go to sleep. But what is imperative starts getting done. Number one, start looking at the way everybody's being treated around you. Are they being treated the same way? Is the boss of a company following the same rules that they're asking to be enforced amongst their employees? In a political party, are the people at the top of the political party following the same laws that they're laying out, or the same guidelines that they've laid out for the other members of the party. If they are not, you might have a problem. Okay, same applies across the board. Now, the biggest thing we have to realize is if well, uh-oh. LA's got the chicken needs an intervention. Oh, yeah, she really does. I've had her a bigger cup. But, what the heck? The neat part of this is what's making noise. I have a tendency of fiddling, but if I don't keep an eye on where my keys are, they go somewhere else in the house. But what we've got to remember is however you desire your world to work, you desire people to be honest with you, be honest with them. I gave up on the diplomatic thing, on this whole idea of, gee, let's say it in a way that doesn't upset people. Okay, there's an idea. Any idea how to pull that one off? If somebody is walking into an absolute cesspool of an action, is there any way to make it sound good? On the whole, the one thing I keep hearing people say is it won't happen to me. Okay, well, after when I went down to the States a couple of months back in August, I came back up here. I wasn't fully aware of what I was up to, obviously, because in my entire life, I'm no longer a perfect record. I now have one parking ticket to my name. And I had my handicap sticker there. I just forgot to put it on the car. So I was told, well, you can fight it. I said, why? I'm the one that did it. The big thing that I will tell you in every single relationship, whether we are talking husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend and boyfriend, don't care. You might be talking you and your mechanic, you and your doctor, any interaction between two people. I have never, with well over 100,000 clients, and God knows how many people I've spoken to, I have never seen a variation where it was more than 50-50 responsibility. If you're looking at a complication you've had, absolutely give 50% responsibility away. But do not make the mistake of thinking, oh, it's only 10% my fault. Or I was such a bad person, 80% of the problem was mine. No. Communication is invariably, and I don't say that very often, is invariably a 50-50 problem. Now, your own actions, whatever you say, whatever you do, those are 100% your responsibility. And let's get away from the idea of, oh, the devil made me say it. No, she didn't. Okay, you're the one that did it. Remember that thing about all individuals have free will and free choice. What they don't have is freedom from consequence. Now I will tell you, I'm going to be making having cups made like this. Well, not like this. I'm going to have coffee cups made with this size handle that will be available as soon as I can afford to arrange it. I found a supplier that can do it. Okay, but they're going to be tied to the writing I'm doing. Okay, the reality of it is the message has to get out. We can no longer keep fighting between ourselves. Who believes that, who is worshiping the right God? They're all teaching you the same thing. Don't believe me. Lucy wasn't a devil. She was just a little, shall we say, overstated. This is assuming we are talking Lucy from the Peanuts realm, and not Lucy as in Desi's wife. The neat part about it is we have the ability to go, we're going to have a better world. We're no longer going to settle for second rate. Okay. Ouch, I'm going to hurt myself. It's an idea. Not a good one, but it is an idea. Yeah, this is one of those things I end up with. It's funny. Got red meat into my diet again. And now I got way too much energy to work with. But on the plus side, I also get a lot more accomplished. Didn't like what I felt there. The neat part about it is we've got the option as a society, as a civilization, regardless of where you are in this world. Okay, Philip, I appreciate that. Neat part about that, when we start looking at Lucifer, something, and I'm not going down that rabbit hole very far at all, but I will tell you, the theory is, and what people are taught, is that Lucifer was cast out. What people do not seem to remember is the original term for cast. Cast, and to cast something, meant to send it. Okay, so yes, Lucifer was cast out and sent down to earth. But that's where a lot of it goes sideways, and that's for a story. You guys ever desire to really ask me about that in detail, bring me on to somebody else's show that wants to tangle with it. I'll be more than happy. Years ago, I had a well-placed member of the Roman Catholic Church and a well-placed member of the Church of Satan on my show with me. Within an hour, I had the two of them agreeing with each other. This is why, if you really desire me to go down that rabbit hole, as far as the way that religion can be correct, can be, if you will, brought back on track, absolutely. Just call me up and ask me. We will, and we'll come on your show and we'll open that door. I made the mistake of overstepping boundaries once on here. I won't do it again. Okay, suffice it to say, every religion I've looked at, every spiritual path, okay, like I love the ones that go, I'm very spiritually inclined and the churches are all wrong. That's overstated. Okay, the moment you start writing off a belief structure and going, it's wrong, most of the time, it's because, quite frankly, it doesn't agree with exactly the way you look at it. Absolutely, Philip. And I'm not fussy who it is that wants me to come on. Okay, I really look at all people the same way. You've got different appearances, you've got different skin colors, different orientations. Doesn't matter. I treat dogs the same way I treat people. I just speak a different language to get along with them now. Okay, to me, I'm quite open about it. But it boils down to whether somebody really wants to go down that rabbit hole. Got into an interesting conversation today with people on the whole philosophy and the whole belief structure about what they've been told about various things in the UFO community. And again, the belief in the UFO community, in that whole side of the world, is not a question of, is it real or is it not, or do you believe me or do you believe somebody else? It is a question of whether you believe in it or not is irrelevant. You don't have to believe in gravity for gravity to play absolute havoc with you if you fall down the stairs. Okay, you can go, it doesn't matter. This is why I love the people that go, oh, if you can't see it, it can't hurt you. Or what you don't know can't hurt you. Trust me, it can. Or don't trust me and just find out for yourself. The reality of it is time that we look at the world as the world is. In other words, we are all members of the same society. Okay, yes. You look at it, you've got different countries. Okay, but in case you hadn't noticed, they are all interlinked. Okay, what is the one backbone behind so many of the countries? We're better than you are. No, you're not. Okay, nobody's better. No country is better than another one. No country is worse than another one. They've got different toys. But I will tell you, I see more people with less stuff that are happier than people that have all the trinkets in the world. Okay, this is why I'm getting rid of so much of the stuff that I've accumulated. Now, I won't be throwing it in a dumpster. If it's in good shape, it's going out at Christmas. Simply because Christmas seems to be a global event. Now, let's scrap the whole idea of, is Santa a reality? Let's just scrap the idea of whether we got a little man in a red suit flying around with 8 reindeer. Let's take a look at the goodwill that is generated at that time of year across the board. Okay, and I'm talking globally. Now, you don't have to believe me. Open your eyes and look for yourself. Do your own research. The reality of it is this. We have an obligation to ourselves. And if you want to go there, Whitney Houston, way back, I think in the 70s, might have been in the 80s, said it all when she wrote the song, "The Children Are Our Future." Okay? Our children are replicating what we're guiding them to do. Okay? Now, I don't know about you, but I certainly don't want my kids carrying on down the same road that I went down. Okay? The nightmare I'm living is not what I want, that I desire my kids, or for that matter, you or your kids to follow. Okay? I will tell you, I've got an actual savings account that is growing as we speak. Okay? As is my tax-free savings account. Not because I'm a better person than you. Okay? But simply because of the fact I figured out what I was doing wrong. There we go. Philip goes, I prefer the esoteric to the exoteric aspects of religions. Absolutely. And I may have to look those words up just on principle. But, the reality of it is the trappings and the methods that we deal with. Okay, the trappings and the ceremonies that go with most religions or most belief structures. How you doing, Blue Cruz? Glad you could join us. Those structures all have significance. Routine works. And this is why I use this funny little method here. What I call the list method. Okay, and yes, that's one of those funny little things I've been working with. As a matter of fact, this particular book right here, okay, Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams. That's the backbone of how I changed the way my life was going. Okay, that's how I did it. Now, yes, hard copy, 20 bucks Canadian, in your hand almost anywhere in the world. Okay, Lord knows how long it'll take to get to you, but I send it out within 3 days. However, thanks so much again to Storm. If you go to the link at the top of the chat room, to buymeacoffee.com/innervoiceJ. These are now available in your hand in minutes in PDF form. Okay, in minutes for only $10 Canadian. Now, I will tell you, the world will change if we encourage it to do so. But if we continue as a society, as a global community, to sit back and let people that are very clearly self-serving, okay, and greed-oriented, if we continue to do that, then what we're going to end up with is an amplified mess of what we've got right now. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking this is a bad path that we're currently on. So I have decided to come out of the shadows and finally come head on. Okay, this is why I'm going down these dangerous roads. Now, I know we're getting right close here, and one thing I do desire to point out, get that out of my way. I just need my sheet here. Okay, today is Tuesday, so Friday, and this is just a heads up, guys. Friday, we are going to be taking a look. Where are we? Friday, we are looking at politics, a neutral approach. Really, really big heads up. Okay, during the show on Friday, nobody will be talking about a specific politician or political party. People will, and I've already talked to Storm about it and put it very bluntly. Somebody mentions it, you get one warning. The second time it gets mentioned, that person will be bounced. Okay, they'll still be able to hear, but I'm not turning this into a political rally. Okay, we are talking about the way this world is running. Oh, Lord, no. LA, thank you for clarifying that. Signing up for the newsletter will absolutely not get you onto a mailing list. And if you're worried about somebody actually hacking my system, good luck with it. Whoop, not that one. I'm going to show you something. Okay. If you're worried, okay, you get put on a newsletter list, and all of a sudden somebody can hack your computer and get a mailing address. See this? This is how much of a dinosaur I am. Okay, I'm not going to show you the details on it, but each one of the subscribers I've got a card for. Now, let me put this in simple terms. Hack my computer. Good luck getting getting a list of addresses. It's just not going to work that well. Now, with that in mind, I would be inclined to say we gotta be getting to the end here. Yeah, Robert White goes, that's okay. The government's all sucks, so it's all good. Actually, it's all really bad if you hadn't noticed. But I do agree, there's not one that's worse than the next. Now, we are down. Well, I like the way you spelled that one. We are down to the 5 minutes. So, again, guys, thanks so very much for sharing your time with us tonight. Really appreciate it. Glad to see so many people coming in. We are starting to make an impact. Now, we're getting, 9, 10 people. After the show airs, we're hitting 50, 60, and 70 views. So, you look at that, with 670, we're well over 5,000 people getting a view of it. We are making an impact. And I'm not going anywhere unless I drop dead, and then they're just going to ship me back anyway. But thank you so much for sharing your time with us tonight. Really appreciate it. We will be back on Friday, 9 p.m. Pacific. 9 p.m. Pacific. Okay. And, at that point, we will see you then. Until then, absolutely Do take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.